Hey guys, if you want to meet a superior young man that is serious about his business, doing a wonderful job, and stands on his principles, which I love the most about this guy. Hey, you found your way to Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages. My name is Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans, and we appreciate you tuning in. Jackson Malcolm, the man of the hour. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me today.
Fantastic. Well, hey, and I don't mind saying this. This is because what we do, we just met last week. Okay. We got you on the schedule. I've been in this game for a long time. The lending game for 25 years now, the podcast for about 8 years. Yeah, I told you I started with the radio show 12 years ago, and we've revamped this. And I'll tell you the reason I started this was because I wanted to expose the games that are in this business, okay, on your side and my side. And I want people to get accurate, 100% true advice, whether it's good news or bad news. I believe people should hear the truth. Um, and so we've done our research on you, and we thought that you would be a great guest on our show. So, Jackson, first, tell us who you are personally.
Yeah, absolutely. So personally, first and foremost, I'm a follower of Jesus. Everything that I do comes through that lens. So work, if I'm out hanging with friends, anything like that, I try to do it as worship God. That's my number one thing.
Fantastic.
I love traveling. I love outdoor activities. I was just out on the Appalachian Trail doing 35 miles last week. So I that's me personally.
Nice. Born and raised here?
Yeah, I was born in Johnson City, Tennessee, so about 3 hours up to the
Okay.
northeast. And then dad got a job in Chattanooga when I was in high school. Ended up staying for college at UTC, and I love Chattanooga. I don't think I'll be going anywhere.
No. It's funny because I transferred here in 91 from Dallas, Texas. Uh, and in 98, the company I had been with at that time for 20 years, actually, it was like 19 years, 8 months, 3 weeks, and 6 hours, but I'm not counting. Uh, so they said, I have to come back to Texas. And I said, yeah, no, I don't have to do anything. And they said, yeah, we got to have you back in Texas. And I had two boys in high school, Jackson. I wasn't going to.
No.
So we chose to stay here, and we've raised three kids here. I've got nine grandkids here, and it's our home now. We've actually been here longer than I was in Texas. So,
Wow.
no, I love Chattanooga. It's a great city. Finished with college. Did you jump right into real estate, or what? How
More
long have
like
you
I
been a real?
fell right into real estate. So my family background, we have always, just worked normal jobs, very normal middle class family, and proud of that.
Mhm.
Um, I was always hammered in with a really good work ethic, but I did not know anything about entrepreneurship, investing, or doing business at all. And I was in college at UTC. I was, going and talking to my professors and trying to meet more people. And I became exposed to the world of entrepreneurship. I did what a lot of people
Nice.
do. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad and some other, foundational books that kind of teach you those concepts. And I was hooked. So I was majoring in finance at the time. The plan was I was just going to go get a corporate job. I started focusing on how can I go meet people and find out about opportunities. So I got an internship kind of randomly with a real estate company here in Chattanooga, and they were doing everything. They did commercial sales, leasing, property management, and I didn't know what any of it was, but I just thought it was cool. So
Sure.
I came on
Right.
working for them at $8 an hour, and they sat me down and they said, "Okay, you're going to make cold calls." And I said, "Great." I didn't know what any of it even meant, but I just dove in. So
That's right.
they taught me a lot about sales, being on the phone, and just the real estate business in general, and I fell in love with it.
Fantastic. Man, you know what? There's something about just hard work. I mean, before we started, I told you my story with the railroad tracks, and I see that picture, and I've been in that office, 100 times over the years. And there's something about putting our nose to the ground and working. And nothing outbeats hard work. Okay. My father always told me the harder we work, the luckier we get. Okay.
So, yeah,
Uh,
that's
and
true.
it, and it's and I'm gonna throw another Zig Ziglar thing at you. When I was at college, now this is before email, this is before cell phone. This and I my wife now when she was back in Texas was writing me letters. I got a letter every single day from my wife or my girlfriend at that point. But my dad once a week would send me a letter, and you know how he signed it? The
How?
three A's. He signed it by the three A's. He's always said, "I love you, son," and then three A's. The
Yeah.
three A's came from Zig Ziglar. It's your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude.
Yeah.
Um, and that has stuck with me my entire life. And you take a great attitude and a hard worker, come on, we can change the world. And
Absolutely.
you and I are in an industry where we can help people build generational wealth. Uh, and I can't imagine doing anything else, Jackson. I can't. I really can't.
Absolutely.
So you did the property management a little while. So
Yeah.
what got you to make the switch over to being a realtor?
Well, kind of picking up on where I was at in college, I was working that internship, doing the grunt work really. And they
Mhm.
said, "Hey, do you want to learn a little bit more in property management?" And I said, "Sure." It was just another thing to learn. I didn't have any particular interest in it. But I was going to a lot of networking events at the time. And I just so happened to meet the guy who ended up being my business partner. Then all the way to now, I was meeting with him right before you and I got on this call. And at that time, he was renovating a lot of houses and he was doing the BRRRR method. So he would buy a fixer upper house, get it ready, refinance, pull his money out, keep it. So he was building, I think at that time he was at 70 or 80 rental houses. And I just
Wow.
thought that was amazing. I didn't know how he was doing it. So I told him, I'd love to meet with you and learn some more. And he told me, "Well, you know property management, right?" And I said, "Well, yeah, a little bit. I've been doing it for a few months." And he said, "I am a terrible landlord. I'm great at investing, but I have no idea how to manage these properties. If you will kind of help me learn the things that you've been learning, why don't we start our own property management company?" And that was just like a radical idea to me at the time, but it just stuck. It just felt right. So we continued meeting. We got to know each other a lot better, and we went and did it. Right upon graduation, I got to say I was a business owner, which felt amazing. And then I got to go through the trial by
Wow.
fire of being a business owner.
Imagine that.
Yeah,
That you know, there's so many things that you've just brought up, and I mean, we could do five different podcasts with what you've talked about in 7 or 8 minutes. And
yeah,
one of the things that sticks out to me is that desire to learn, okay, and asking people for their help, because it's human nature when we ask for help. People want to help us, you know. Uh, that's fantastic, man. That is. So how long has that been? That's been what, 7, 8 years now?
yeah. Gosh, that was back in 2019. So I guess it's been about 5 years ago. And
Wow.
we just did the thing. We built the company. Learned a lot of hard lessons for sure about management, about
Mhm.
finances, about scaling a business. And we were
Sure.
blessed to find a buyer for it in 2022, and we exited. So that was a great opportunity. But there I was, still extremely young, wondering what my next step was. Well, at the time, Philip had showed me also how to do what he was doing and start buying houses. So I thought at the time, real estate purchasing is going great. I'll go full time doing that and try to build a big portfolio. And if it fails, I'm also going to get my real estate license and do some of that on the side.
Right.
Well, that was late 2022 into most of 2023, and I started to realize in the spring of 2023 I was like, ooh, just making a living off buying these properties is probably not the most sustainable thing.
Right.
interest rates and, worries about the market and whatnot. So I had my license and I had been doing a fair bit of volume, just kind of things falling in my lap from being an agent. So about, gosh, it would have been close to 18 months ago. I decided, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build my next business being a real estate agent. So that's kind of how I fell into where I am today.
Nice. There it's brother, you hadn't fallen into anything. Okay. You hadn't there's a direct path that you're on and you're choosing your steps and it's very, very commendable. Okay. So I do have a question for you. I've been at it 25 years now, and about 17 years ago, so I'd been in business 7 to 8 years at that time, and it was a job, it was a career, it was the next step in my career, my journey as far as a provide for my family. But about 17 years ago, there was something that happened that I knew that God had me in this business for a reason, all right?
Mm.
And that it was a true calling. So it was no longer a career, it was a true calling. When we think of things different, okay? We truly think of things different if it is a calling. So in this past 18 months with you doing real estate, because we touch a lot of lives, okay? And then we're blessed to be able to touch a lot of lives. Has there been a moment, an aha moment, that you've said, you know what, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I think so. I would be lying if I said when I first got into it, it was for the right reasons. I was really just excited about everything. It just felt
Sure.
good and exciting, which is not a bad thing, but I wasn't
Right.
intentionally going about it to make an impact on people and as my calling. As I kind of played things out and had some success, it was a strange feeling because it on the one hand was so exciting, and on the other hand, it just didn't fulfill me in and of itself. And once you filter through that a few times, you're like, well, that's great and all, but now I have to do something a little bit higher to get that feeling of excitement again, and it's just not sustainable. And I
Right.
had some very, very good mentors, both in business and just in my faith, apart from my work, that kind of helped steer me away from that and helped me learn what is truly fulfilling is the things that are going to last eternally.
Right.
When I pass away, people are not going to remember how many houses I owned or how much volume I sold. They're going to remember how they felt when they talked to me and the things that I left behind. One of
That's
my
right.
mentors framed it to me as resume virtues are the things you do at work, and then eulogy virtues are the things that they're going to talk about at your funeral. Well, I want the things they're going to talk about at my funeral, the things that are going to
That's
last.
right. That's right. That's right. Dude, that is so strong. That's why I wanted you here. That's why I wanted you here. Well, let's do this. What is if somebody's listening to this, they want to meet you, they want to talk to you, they want to find their next investment property, or they need to find their next home. What's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, yeah. The best way to get in contact, I'm on social media. Instagram and Facebook is just my name, Jackson Malcolm, JCKSLN, MALCOLM. Just my name. Anybody can reach out to me
Okay.
through there. What I'm doing day to day is in addition to investing, I'm helping other people learn how to do the same and just find their personal homes. So I'm
That's right.
helping several friends right now get their first personal house and several other friends get their first investment property and start building that wealth.
Nice.
So that's what I'm taking a
Nice.
lot of joy in right now.
Fantastic. Well, guys, again, I'm Kevin Blair with Element Home Loans. My website is kevinblairteam.com. Our office number is 423-488-7571. If you like this kind of information, hit like, hit subscribe, tell somebody about Jackson Malcolm and Kevin Blair. If you need somebody that's going to be truthful, honest, and tell you 100% correct information, you have found the two guys that you need to be talking to. Jackson, man, thank you so much for being on the show today. I look forward to doing this again with you.
Absolutely. It's a great honor. Thank you.